Hello. I don't know how to start. Hello. My name is Karen from Stitches and Jacks, and currently it is Friday the 4th of August. I was about to say in the UK, but everywhere, I think, at some time today, depending on where you are, time frame. I get a little bit giddy. I'm about to go to the Quilt Festival. There's a huge quilt festival in Birmingham at the NEC at the beginning of August every year, and people from worldwide go to this quilt festival. So I'm going to go and I'm going to do some filming. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to capture, but hopefully I can give you a bit of a flavour and we can kind of go on an adventure. I'm also taking my darling daughter-in-law, who's in the middle of making her first quilt. So we're off for an adventure. So what I'm planning to do is 2 quilt videos. I thought I would give you a flavour of what I have made, the quilts that I have to hand, and I filmed something. It was back in June, I think. That's when the sun last came out, I think. So it is boiling hot. I'm full of hay fever, but it's together, and I'm trying my hardest to not talk myself out of putting videos up. So yes, so it will come after this. Also my tripod decided to collapse while I was filming, so some of it is a little bit wonky, or perhaps not as polished as I would like, but bear with me. So, and I'm going to keep it short. I think at the moment it stands at 20 minutes, so I'll just put this little intro on and then I will come back to you with a quilt update. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it there and I'll say goodbye, and I hope that you enjoy it. And if you are going to the quilt festival, I was going to say let me know, or come and say hello, but you'll see this afterwards. So if when you see this, watch this, you have been, let me know. Right, bye my lovelies, and I'll see you soon. Hello and good afternoon. Something a little bit different today. As it's quilt season, it's currently Wednesday the 7th of June. So when you see this video, if it is ever live, it will be in your past. I'm planning to put this up to tie in with the Festival of Quilts, and I'm hoping to go and visit. So I thought I'd just give you a flavour of some of the work that I have made throughout the years. I've been quilting, well, my first quilt was, I was trying to think, was 20 odd years ago. I made a quilt for my daughter, my youngest daughter, and my stepson. The one for my stepson, no idea where that's gone. That's kind of disappeared. I think he took it to uni, but I kind of don't think it arrived at uni. My daughter's one is upstairs, and I can perhaps just get a picture of that for you. But I really I made my first quilt in 2012, and then it was probably about 2015, 2016, I think, or 16 and 18 was it? I went to the Knit and Stitch show in London and was just amazed. I think I went to the quilt show, the Birmingham Quilt Show, for the first time. And I think I joined a group 2018, 2019. So probably seriously for 5 years, with a bit of a pause with the pandemic, shall we say. So I thought, I wasn't quite sure what order to show you. You haven't got all my quilts because, as many of you will know, I make and I normally gift them. So I've got a few that I've been doing, like I'm doing a washing exercise. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to just share with you. So this is the first one that I made with Alfie, and he was 2012, and I really wasn't into crafts at all. My children were still, well, no, they were late teenagers, weren't they? Up until that time, I was busy, just bringing up 3 children and working full time. So there's not a lot of time left. So this is what I made for Alfie, and I did everything the wrong way. Right. So I used this. First of all, I cut out every square individually. I didn't really realise about templates, and drew round the material and then cut it out with scissors and everything. I did a little bit of embroidery. I'm not great with embroidery, so that was his name. I'd spelt his name wrong, and we were on our way to hospital. My daughter didn't know anything about this. Good job that I left it on the kitchen table, because I was able to come back and respell his name. We knew he was going to be a boy. We knew he was going to be called Alfie. I put love, grandmama. So that's, yeah, Alfie's quilt. I'll do a little video, I think, of the quilt so you can get like a good idea. Otherwise I'll be up and down. But yeah, so I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know how to like mitre my corners. But you know, it's got a certain charm on it. My daughter's never used it because she said it's too beautiful to use. It's too precious, but it's still on his pile of quilts in his room. Then we move on to when he was about 1, 2, and I was trying to practice just doing like straight line quilting. And he really liked animals. He still likes animals, sort of safari animals, that's what I would say. So I just chose a print. That's what I backed it with, and that's sort of the edging. And when I went into the quilt shop, I picked this out. That was easy. And I think I'd picked that out. And the guy there said, "Oh, I've got a bit of edge. I've got some pre-cuts. It'd be perfect with that." And it was. So I wouldn't say my lines are dead straight, but Alfie loves this. So that's that one. So I think with every quilt you make, you tend to learn something. There's my straight lines, if you can see. Some of them are wiggly, but I don't think they're too bad. And that was literally just quilting up, turning it around, and quilting down. Then his third quilt was I made an attic's windows, and I think this is when I went to the quilt group, and I hadn't made anything like this before. So you were learning Y seams with this. What else were you learning? Oh, there's supposed to be a bit of hand embroidery, and I've got it back because when I was cutting it, I knew that it should have been 2.5 inches width-wise, and I think I had cut 2 inches by mistake, and I'd cut quite a bit of my fabric out. I thought, oh, it'd be okay, and it's come back, and there's a few little places that it's come apart. So I've just ripped it all off, and I've got proper binding to go on that. So this is one of my jobs over the summer. Do you know what? I don't know if this is working at all. Let me just lay it on the floor and show you. So this is Alfie's, and I tend to turn up, and it's always sort of Marvel, boyish related. So that's my attic windows, and he does actually love this, and this is still used. So this will be ready for the winter. Let's just see what the backing was. Oh yes, the backing was the Marvel print, and I put a label on it. Yay! Right, this is a quilt that I made for Alfie, and he was probably about 6 or 7, and it's what's called an I Spy quilt. And I'm really pleased, really proud of this, I didn't follow a pattern. I just kind of made it up myself, and it's supposed to be like sweeties on a shelf. And each jar is different, and it's something to do with the alphabet. Just bear with me because my tripod is suddenly decided not to play ball. So you got apples. I chose bananas for B because he was heavily into bananas at that time, as well as dinosaurs, tractors. What else? Oh, his Auntie Laura liked owls. He liked planes. Yeah, so just motorbikes. Got his giraffes in there. Oh, that's interesting. I've got a piece of that. I'm just making Bonnie a quilt. Right. Yeah. Oh, and there's some of that fabric that I'd used in his other quilt. And then round, I just, not piano keys, I don't know quite what you'd call this. But I'd made a border up, out of the scraps. So I'm really happy with that. Just bear with me. And the back is a marvel print, because I was just thinking maybe as he gets older and grows out of this, he might want to turn it over. And I've seen this fabulous print that I wanted to incorporate into the quilt. Right, just forgive me, I might be at a slightly different angle. My tripod has just collapsed on me, but I've washed Benjamin's quilts and he has phoned me to say he is coming to collect them because he uses them outside on the grass, which is what I want, from the children when I make them. I want them to be able to use them. I'm going to have to go out. I'm going to think I'm cutting my time. Cutting my time fine. But I need to get up to that point and then I can leave it and I'll have to come back and I'll have to add to this video. So if I changed, forgive me. Right, I'll show you Fred's. Okay, Fred's is made out of 10-inch blocks, and I just fell in love with the Jungle Book. I think it holds memories for me as a child. So it's just a 5x4, 4x5 quilt, and I didn't want to do anything and just break it up. So it's literally literally just sewn it all together, I think. I don't know whether it's... I'm looking at... I've quilted it very simply, and I don't know if I've used join as you go method. I don't think so. But yeah, it's just the charm of the simplicity of it. And I'm not sure if it has a label. Let me check. Right, no, it doesn't have a label, so that's very remiss of me. But he would have got this for his first birthday, because you're not supposed to put babies under a quilt until they can actually turn one and they can sort of move about themselves. And you should just be able to see the quilting, and the pattern is just it's just a yellow material. So yeah, that's kind of what it looks like, with an orange binding for the flame, for the fires. Right, this quilt here is Fred's quilt for his second birthday, and it's a disappearing 9 patch, and it's just really sweet. It's just like nursery rhyme characters, I think, and this was a join as you go technique, and I'd moved up to a level of quilting with rulers. Just see if I can show you my quilting in the middle, my big circular quilting ruler. Is the camera picking up on that? Yeah, I'll just turn it over. It's just back to a very simple white fleece. You might be able to see the quilting through it. Right, I'm sorry for the shadow on the camera, but it's only way of like picking up some of this quilting that I had done. So there's like the circles. Yeah, it's really good in real life. In the sense of that you can see it, and there's some miniature circles there, but I don't know whether the camera's going to pick it up. I'll have a look through the editing, but yes, I enjoyed that process for that quilt. Right, this is Fred's third and final quilt, and it's just a panel of material, and I would have shown it in more detail in the June blogs 2000. Was it last year that I made it? He was heavily... been 2 years ago, he was heavily into Tiger That Comes to Tea. So I love anything with a London theme. There's the tiger there, so very, very subtle. And where is he again? He's somewhere else on here, but it's just beautiful, beautiful fabric. Yes, so there he is there. And Fred absolutely loves this. He's born in July, so he doesn't need a quilt in July, but for me to make a quilt for all the grandchildren, present them at Christmas, it will be like, well, if I did them through the year, that would be a bit easier, wouldn't it? But yes, I think it's just got a cotton back. Let me check. Oh no, it's got a fleecy back, a green fleecy back. So yeah, that's I enjoyed doing that. And then I've literally, my quilting, what did I do? I just went round outlines. I'll show you. Hopefully this camera's going to pick this up now, pick the quilting up. You can see the lady that. It's got the kite. I'd travelled around there from the sewing machine, the building. I'd kind of travelled around the tree, sort of around these people. I think I've blown bubbles. Yeah, sort of round the bus, just sort of echoing the outlines really of what was on here. So that was it was good. I enjoyed doing that. It's an enjoyable exercise, but it was really hot. This is the quilt for my daughter. My youngest daughter. It's called the Lone Star quilt. So we had to make the blades individually and then sort of sew them in pairs. And then sort of sew half together, and then the top half, and sew them both together, and then quilted all of this. The way it's been folded, it looks like I've got a hump in the middle, but I haven't. It was perfectly flat. This is what happens with your quilts over time, but I can iron this once it's been washed, and you'll see the border. I've used my scraps and just put those together and just edge that. Let me see if I can show you some quilting. I don't know whether it's going to show. Yes, so can you see, is the camera picking that up, where I've just gone backwards and forwards in lines, just very simple. And then I've just echoed sort of all the stars, like the diagonals. I've just gone round there. And then I think I've used my embroidery. Yeah, my embroidery stitch on my sewing machine to do the rest. Let's see. And I have got a label on. Yeah, so that's full. I'm not good showing you carpet. That's the label. It's quite dark actually. And I've used bits here that were left over to extend the fabric I had. That's a good quilting trick, and it's on there as well. And you can see this side. You can see the beautiful stitching from the machine. It's the sewing machine. This is one that I made for my daughter, my eldest daughter, when she was 25. And it's called a Friendship Star. She's heavily into owls. And I don't think I've quilted that at all. I just put it together. Maybe I've echo quilted it. But the fabric is just charming. This was from a collection. I can't remember what, but yes. This one doesn't look very good. Oh, there, that's okay, isn't it, from that angle? It was just these stripes. But yes, so she loves this. And I don't know what's on the back of this. What's on the back of this? Oh, that's her label. And then the green fabric that she likes. So, yeah. This quilt wasn't made specifically for Benjamin, but it has all the colours that he loves. We've got lots of photographs of him. I think I'd made it and he was arriving, and I don't quite know how he got it, whether he took a liking to it and I gave it to him. It's just squares just sewn together, so practicing my 1/4 inch seams. And again, I've used the fabric through here to do my binding as well. It's just a charming little quilt. He's very, very attached to it, so he's told me. This is Benjamin's quilt for his first birthday, and he's got a woodland nursery, and he still has a woodland theme, and that went on his cot. And again, it was just a print, so I just did very simple quilting, just echoed the, let's see there, sort of just on 2 straight lines to go down, and 2 straight lines to go across, and then the backing, yeah, just this beautiful tree fabric, and he's got a label. So I need to make a note while I've got them and make the labels to go on them. And this is one that I think I made him when he was 2. And funny enough, when I was at the Knit and Stitch show, so I think it was 2018, I bought this because I knew my daughter was mad on owls. And yeah, it's ended up for Benjamin as well. The piece there that looks like it's been cut crooked, that wasn't me. I bought a kit, and that's how it was in there. But yeah, these are all appliqued on, so that was a different technique for me. It's not very big, but if something, that if they went out for a picnic, he could have like his own little quilt. I don't know what's on the back. Let's have a look. Oh, and it's just yeah, just dots. So lovely, dots and acorns. And this one here is the last quilt I've just finished, and this was for Bonnie for her first birthday. Yeah, and it's just a basic 9 patch, and I just really love it. I love the fabric, the Tinkerbell fabric. We're into fairies, Bonnie and I buy them, and yeah, she just plays with them. So the Disney fabric was in the Disney range. I picked those 4 fabrics. This is a batik, which has become a firm favourite. This was, you know, like a solid. I chose that, and I chose that. And I had to choose it in about 10 minutes because the shop was shutting. I'd got my times wrong. But I was absolutely desperate to, yeah, pick my fabric and start cracking on with this quilt, which I think I'll show you in more detail. And again, I've sort of done the same trick of using my, where's my finger? Of using my sort of I made my own binding, sort of cut it off of the fabric to try and just, you know, incorporate as much as possible. And it's just like a plain back, which is really lovely. So that was like a whistle-top tour of the quilts that I have to hand. Oh, excuse me. That I finished. So I'll come back and I'll share a bit more with you. But yeah, I'm going to have to go out now. I've got Girls Brigade tonight. But I hope... Oh, crumbs. My tripod is really broken and that's not a good angle. But I don't care anymore. I don't care. That's just me. If you were here in real life and sit and have a cup of tea, I don't think you'd be looking at my tuna. I'll see you later.